Hello and good day. This is Punchline. We are First News Nation. Punchline is back and is back fully. We apologize for being away for so long, and we promise to bring you more episodes consistently as we go forward into the political discussions that have taken the air. It was the cyber security levy here, and then we also have banks there and the CBN working overtime, and President Tinubu denying Federal Executive Council members from purchasing petroleum-powered cars in favor of CNG vehicles. The political space still remains active and interesting. Let's not even forget about what's going on in Rivers State, the battle royale between Simi Fubara and his predecessor, as well as the State House of Assembly. That's going to be a later conversation. But for now, welcome to Punchline. I am Sami Ajifo on First News Nation TV. Feel free to go to all our social media handles at First News Nation TV. Facebook, X. We've not done too much on X, but we'll start doing a lot. Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. Just go ahead and follow us for later stories. Also on our WhatsApp channel at First News Nation to get latest updates as well. Follow the conversation that will be happening as we go forward. Let's go for a very short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Peter Obi now playing politics in Nigeria. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's still Punchline. I'm still Sami Ajifo, and you're watching First News Nation TV on all our social media handles. Like we said in the introduction, we're talking about Peter Obi playing national politics. In the aftermath of the 2023 presidential elections in February last year, Peter Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate, has been the most active former presidential, former governorship, former House of Assembly member candidate for any election whatsoever in the history of Nigeria. The man's activity is recorded as being the most active opposition leader, if you might call it that. If you remember, where a press conference was called by Peter Obi, and he declared that the Labour Party will become an active opposition party in Nigeria. Many people thought he was just speaking. He has been moving from place to place, starting from the Salah celebrations where he observed it in several states in the north. Moving forward from that, he was recorded to have donated money for the sinking of boreholes and supply of potable water to states across the north, which also generated a lot of controversy over the packaging of how that went about. Peter Obi later on disclosed that he will be sinking about 2,000 boreholes across Nigeria. Well, we believe that most of those boreholes will be situated in the northern part of Nigeria. Added to the other things he's been doing in terms of discussing policy and the reactions from the activities of the Bola Tinubu-led administration, Peter Obi has remained the most active politician in the opposition. And that is very, very obvious to us. But what's the latest on Peter Obi, aside talking about anything the federal government has released, mostly against and not for, or congratulating anyone that has achieved any specific feat across the world of Nigerian descent? Recently, Peter Obi visited his fellow presidential candidate from the PDP. I'm talking about Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who one time Peter Obi was running mate to, I believe in the 2019 general elections. But in 2023, both of them contested side by side, one under Labour Party and another under the platform of the PDP. He not only visited Atiku Abubakar, he also visited former Senate President from Kwara State, Bukola Saraki, and also visited the former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido. There was some, I drag your attention back to when Nyesom Wike said that one of the reasons why Peter Obi left the PDP was that he went to Sule Lamido in Jigawa State and spoke to him about the presidential ambition. And Sule Lamido said that the votes from the north will remain in the north. This was what Nyesom Wike said. Later on, Paul Ibe, who is the former, is a media aide to Atiku Abubakar, disclosed that it was because of Nyesom Wike that Peter Obi left the party. Who left and why? Well, that's a question for another day. But the conversation right now is why Peter Obi was seen having closed-door meetings with the former PDP presidential candidate? And also, why was he meeting with the former Senate president? Why was he meeting with Jigawa State Governor? These three gentlemen are from the northern part of Nigeria. These three gentlemen are his political allies. But these three gentlemen are from the PDP, and he met them in a closed-door meeting. According to his spokesman, Dr. Yunusa Tanko, his visit and discussion centered around the state of the nation and how to reduce the sufferings of Nigerians. He went further to say the particular interest was paid to the plight of the people in northern Nigeria. Let's not forget, from 2019 to 2023, the northern part of Nigeria has held sway as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, led by President Muhammadu Buhari. And now, Peter Obi's concern is what's happening in the north. You would think that any president that comes into power, according to the way we play politics in Africa, that your region will enjoy more. But during President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure, the north was bedeviled with a lot of crises, the highest number of killings, banditry. We had terrorism, especially in the northeastern part of Nigeria. The end of his administration witnessed the only good side was when we talked about discovering oil in the Chad Basin. But now, Peter Obi is concerned about the plight of the North. Is this following his movement in the North where he donated boreholes, or has he seen something in the North that is really giving him some kind of worry? Those are questions that are on the surface looking very noble. But we also look at the fact that Peter Obi is a politician, and we need to look at the political interest in all of that. You remember that Peter Obi actually went on a tour of the North in the build-up to his presidential campaign. Even during the campaign, Peter Obi has been recorded as the man who traveled the farthest to consult widely. But did Peter Obi not notice that there were sufferings in the northern part of Nigeria when he went for his campaign? Or should other people believe that Peter Obi is interested in 2027, even though he has said he is not talking about 2027? So why is this renewed hope in the northern part of Nigeria? Yunusa, his spokesman, said Obi was worried about the soul of Nigeria and how to rescue Nigeria from the clutches of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Now, is it coincidence that Peter Obi is going around the north, meeting respected northern leaders, meeting with the person of Atiku Abubakar, meeting with someone who is also a strong northern leader? I'm talking about Sule Lamido. I'm also meeting with Bukola Saraki, who are still members of the PDP. Is it not coincidence that it's also coming around the same period where former vice president and presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, had called, renewed calls for the opposition to come together? When he made that statement, the Labour Party vehemently opposed it and said they will not be joining any union or any group or anything or any coalition. And now Peter Obi is walking that line. The spokesman said there was no chance of Obi returning to the PDP, which is obviously a question that we should ask. With Peter Obi now meeting with these three gentlemen who are very powerful in the PDP and very powerful in the North, does this mean that Peter Obi might be looking at a return to his former party, considering the fact that his present party, Labour Party, doesn't seem to have what it takes in terms of structure? There's so much problems in the Labour Party. The national chairman, Julius Abure, has been from frying pan to fire. Do you think this is also an opportunity for Peter Obi to probably return to a place where he's more comfortable or he's more familiar? Let's go for another short break. When we get back, we'll go into the remaining part of this conversation about Peter Obi playing national politics and 2027. Welcome back. It's still Punchline, First News Nation TV. I am still Sami Ajufo. Let's remind you to join us on all our social media handles: Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn. Join us on all these platforms. And if you can do that, enable notifications on any of these platforms. So every time we have a new episode of the show, which will be more consistent going forward, you'll be the first to know. Peter Obi meeting with Atiku Abubakar, meeting with Bukola Saraki, meeting with Sule Lamido, all from the north. And his concern is the soul of the nation, according to his spokesman, and the plight of the northern Nigerians. That's what he's talking about at this particular time. Now, with him meeting with the PDP leaders, there's some speculation that there's either a decision from Obi to move to the PDP, knowing that he has a bank full of group of people called Obidients, whether they will go with him or not, or is he looking at a merger between the Labour Party or the PDP, or some form of coalition to wrest power from the APC come 2027? This was the same statement made by Atiku Abubakar sometime last year. But the spokesman for Peter Obi says you don't need to really say yes or cancel out that conversation because it's an ongoing conversation that's happened since the 2023 presidential election in February last year. So is it pure coincidence that Peter Obi went to his political allies under the guise of rescuing Nigeria from the APC? Is Obi finally heeding the call to come together to form an opposition party? Now, when we talk about an opposition party, will we also include the leader of the NNPP, who at one point as well was a PDP member while he was governor? I'm talking about Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwanso. Will Peter Obi also visit him as he has visited Atiku, Saraki, and Lamido? If he truly is speaking to the soul of Nigeria and how to rescue the North, which he believes has a lot of problems, which it actually does, will we see Peter Obi extend an olive branch to Kwankwanso, who no one has seen since he went visiting President Tinubu? No one has heard of the fact that whether it's true that he's returning to the APC. This would be a good time for Kwankwanso to return, wouldn't it? Now that Ganduje is under the heavy load of an EFCC case, this is also a good time to return to the party. And probably, if there is a talk about getting the NNPP as ruling Kano State right now in the Northwest, is it possible that Kwankwanso can return to the APC and then become the national chairman of the party? That's another conversation for another day. But is Kwankwanso going to be approached as well by Peter Obi? Now we have to consider that all the parties that form the opposition, be it Labour Party or the PDP or the NNPP, they are all in crisis. This is the first time we see opposition party on a wide scale either having leadership crisis or membership crisis. Look at the PDP in Rivers State, the camping of members of the State House of Assembly to the APC, which seems to be a problem right now. Or can we talk about Imo State, that's had the leaders of the party in Imo State of the PDP leave the party, and we are waiting to see if they'll be joining APC or another party? Or can we talk about Enugu State, where a chunk of the members of the House of Assembly, they camped from the Labour Party, the main opposition party, to the PDP. So every party in the opposition is facing some kind of crisis, serious crisis. So is there an opposition party if Peter Obi is to rally together names like Atiku Abubakar, Kwankwanso, and the top guns within those political parties? Do you think it will actually come to the fore? And why is Peter Obi concerned about the north of Nigeria? Many people think Peter Obi is so interested in the north because that's where the power block, that's where the voting block will usually come from in any election in Nigeria. And that's what happened in the 2023 presidential election. Save for FCT and one or two other states, Peter Obi didn't do so well. The Labour Party didn't do so well in several states across Nigeria, especially northern Nigeria. But in southern Nigeria, they made a very good showing. So is this another way of Peter Obi extending an olive branch and showing that he actually is concerned about the north? Bear in mind that the north is not really friends with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, considering the policies he has made in the past few months. We talk about the relocation of several key departments of the central bank to Lagos, relocation of the Federal Airports Authority from Abuja to Lagos, and relocation of several other ministries, departments, and agencies to Lagos, and also some other policies that the North has not been so comfortable with. Let's not also forget what happened within the APC in the National Assembly, where a ranking member of the North, not just the APC, was kicked under the curb, and it has not really augured well with the North after that. So right now, who is going to play friendship with the North? Is it Peter Obi? Is it Atiku Abubakar? Or is President Tinubu going to have a way to come back to getting the attention and the patronage of the North? The North is being courted right now, and we believe this is another way of Peter Obi also showing concern. We have seen a positive outlook to Peter Obi's activities in the North part of Nigeria. So by 2026, what will be the resultant effect of Peter Obi's interest in the North? If he's going to be drilling 2,000 boreholes and providing some amenities as a private citizen in certain parts of Nigeria, will you think those parts of Nigeria are places where, if he contests again in 2027, even though the Labour Party has said himself, Peter Obi, and the governor of Abia State, Alex Oti, have automatic tickets if they choose to contest in the 2027 general elections? That's going to be what we should look at. Is Peter Obi going to be the de facto leader of the North? Now that PDP is virtually gutted, now that Labour Party is also suffering its own issues. We'll talk about that more, and your comments are more important. So drop them in the comment section below. Let's have your opinion about what Peter Obi's activities lately, the most active politician post-election in an opposition party since the history of politics in Nigeria. That's what we're talking about. Drop your comments in the comment section. We'll really appreciate what you have to say. And the sooner we get on DSTV, the better for a lot of people, because we've had so many calls that we should begin our programming. So get ready. That's going to be happening as soon as possible. We'll see you in the next episode of Punchline. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Sami Ajifo. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's do this again next episode. Till then, do all you can to stay safe.